Now you may ask this simple question, why sadhana at all? The point is, in our tradition, the fourfold aims of human life have been very clearly defined. It is actually called Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. These are the Purusharthas, the fourfold aims of an ordinary human life. Now let us try to understand these clearly, to understand the place of sadhana in every great life. Dharma is righteous conduct, righteous living. So this obviously has to be done if you want to lead the good life, if you want even to get a good job, then inner integrity, honesty, truthfulness, all this becomes imperative. So righteous conduct, ethical living, this is the concept of dharma. Dharma here does not mean religion, it means righteous living. So this is the first purushartha, the first aim of human life, getting established in a moral way of living. The moral codes of your life are very firm and you are very clear that you have higher goals in life. You will not invest your energies and waste your time on just ordinary things. You have great goals to achieve. So the first purushartha then becomes dharma. Then after that, for any young person, then naturally he will require artha. Artha is money, wealth, which you require to stabilize yourself in life, for survival needs, to provide for your family. So then earning wealth through ethical means, this is the second aim of human life. The third aim is kama. Kama signifies the fulfillment of legitimate desires. So any young person, naturally he will want a good job. He wants to earn money for his family. After that, he will go into good relationships, committed relationships, have a family, a good family life. So all this satisfies kama. But artha and kama, a well-developed mind will understand that these two have their own limitations. They have a whole lot of things ingrained in them, intrinsic to them, and in a way they give a limited sort of experience. So then the fourth purushartha has been defined as moksha, getting liberated from anything that limits you or binds you. So the moksha ideal has to be understood by oneself by attaining great clarity of mind. What does moksha actually mean? Most people have no idea of it. It's just a sort of abstract ideal. But it means complete freedom or liberation from the merely sense-bound or mind-bound life. So these are considered the four aims of human life. Now, we will try to understand this for the spiritual aspirant. When do we embark on our spiritual endeavor, spiritual effort, is when we understand the limitations of dharma, artha and kama. That's when you aim full time at moksha. So the limitations, the great moral conundrum of our lives. See, life is full of contradictions. Life is full of insecurities. When you understand this kind of existential reality of life, then you pause and you think, then what is the goal, the actual aim of human life? What is my own real nature? I pass through life without understanding who I am. So what is my real nature? What is the unchanging truth about me? You will naturally ask this. So then you review what dharma means, what artha means, what kam means in your life. So then you start understanding that artha and kama also have deep limitations in themselves. What do they give us? They give you momentary pleasure, momentary security and comfort. Yes, these things they provide. But these are themselves limited. They are intrinsically limited. In what sense? See, there is something called diminishing marginal return. I think you know the concept very well. Whenever you invest into something, after some time you will see the return is not proportionate to your investment. So this is called diminishing marginal return. Whatever you invest into, you will see after some time the return is not as per your expectations. This happens even with Artha and calm. You have invested certain amount of energy, time, you have invested in a whole lot of things maybe into these two. After some time you feel you're not happy with what you're getting back. So that is why greed and lust are never the ultimate aims of human life. For some time they give you experience. After that they show how limited they are in satisfying you. They are transitory, they are fleeting, they are ephemeral, and most of all they are addictive. They bind you. I am not telling you don't desire for the good things of life. You will desire, okay? Human manifestation itself is about satisfying something, some urge from within. But going beyond a certain point and trying to optimize your happiness only at this level, this will not work. This is what I am telling you. So optimizing your happiness only at the sense level is a very miserable state of existence actually. So that is why understanding the nature of Artha and Kama becomes important. Vivek begins from here. So that's why I'm going to introduce a very important concept here called the hedonic treadmill experience, which all of us experience, but we don't analyze it this way. It will show you the nature of happiness and the levels of happiness you are capable of, but which you have not explored. So when we commit ourselves mainly only to the sense level, what happens? We enter the hedonic treadmill experience. If you type it on Google or go into modern psychology, you will get a whole lot of information on this. So much of research has been conducted on this. So what is this treadmill about? You know what a treadmill is? It gives you plenty of exercise, but you stay at the same point, at the same spot. That's the treadmill experience. You are expending a lot of energy, but you don't go anywhere with it. And hedonism is actually pleasure theory, the theory of pleasure. It will show you the intrinsic limitation of the sense life. So this is how it works. You see, whenever our mind is by nature restless, isn't it? Unless we have trained it through yoga, it will remain restless and jumping from one object to the other. So the characteristic of the untrained human mind is it always seeks happiness or joy from the outside. And to do that, it will keep reporting happiness in objects. So it will tell you, if you get this particular object, let's take an example. Let's say we are in Delhi, so we will take Delhi ka laddu ka example. Here it's very famous. The Delhi laddus, they are, ऐसा कहते हैं हिंदी में कि आप खाओगे तो भी पछताओगे, नहीं खाओगे तो भी पछताओगे. The mind produces this state. If you eat it also, you sort of repent or regret, and if you don't eat it also, you will keep regretting due to your desire. This is the nature of that sweet meat, Delhi ka laddu. So what happens is the mind will keep on telling you, well, if you have that, you will be very happy. This is the nature of desire. Take that object and you will be very happy with it. So then what do? You consume one laddu, say the second laddu, maybe a third one. And then what does your mind do? It kept on reporting. All the excitement was in the anticipation of great happiness. Once you have had the experience of the object, you have eaten the laddus, then the mind will quieten down a bit, but not get absorbed in that object. It will immediately jump to the next object of your passion or enjoyment. This is the nature of the mind. It convinced you that a lot of happiness you will get out of that object. Once you experience the object, this very mind will stay quiet for a few seconds, that's all. Then it jumps to the next object of your passion. It is not getting absorbed in the object, it is not getting contented with the object, it is not satisfied, it is not fulfilled in any sense. So the desire-driven mind goes on and on, driving you from one object to the other, to the other, to the... This will go on, and it keeps us restless, it keeps us overactive, it keeps us the hungry look on the face of most people is due to this. There is no inner contentment or satisfaction. So this is termed as the hedonic treadmill experience. It drives you, it drives our economy, it drives consumerism, this inner urge for satisfaction of our desires. So what do? We try to hoard. अभी थोड़ी देर के बाद इसी को फिर से experience करेंगे. We try to hoard, we try to optimize the experience at that plane only, but it doesn't work. No sense experience has given you absolute fulfillment or contentment, isn't it? So check this out and see for yourself. This is not a philosophy or somebody's theory. You have to check it out and see in your own life. Any object of your experience, to what level does it satisfy you? And why it doesn't give you complete fulfillment, absolute satisfaction and peace within yourself? Why it doesn't give you that? You should check this out for yourself. You party every day, the fifth day your mind will become sick. It will want to get out of that mode. Any object will do this for you. So that is when we understand the limitations of Artha and Kam. They are meant for experience. They are meant to teach you something, but they cannot be the goals of human life. So that is when you embark on sadhana. You understand that there must be higher levels of experience and happiness and fulfillment. So then you start exploring the levels of happiness available to the human being. There are levels of happiness. In fact, there's a whole ladder of happiness available to you, which you have to explore for yourself. And the sense-bound happiness is only the first rung of the ladder. That is only the first rung. It gives you only this much. Then when you step up, what's the next rung of the ladder of happiness? Actually, there's a talk on this which you can see on YouTube, the ladder of happiness. So the next rung of the ladder of happiness is the happiness born not of objects, sense objects, but of deeper thought, quieter thought. Doesn't it absorb you? Maybe you took up a good book. You can get absorbed in it. It generates flow. Maybe you wrote something yourself. You wrote a poem. It gives you so much joy. So the joy born of thought is more engaging. It generates a certain level of flow, and it keeps you happier for a longer time. The sense level of joy will give you just fleeting joy, very temporary, but this is longer lasting, the second level. But there's a third level also, and it makes for a vertical climb. Please see, the third level of happiness is deep intellectual activity. Have you seen this? When you're deeply engaged in something, time just passes and you don't realize it. So it can be some wonderful mathematics which you have been doing. It can even be a game of chess. So that can be deeply engaging and it can generate flow. I remember as a school student, I used to play chess, and I would get so deeply absorbed in it that after the game was over, I could retrace every step back to the original before I started the game, and it would show me where I made my mistakes or where I did well. So this is a possibility with our human mind. Deep level engagement will produce deep level happiness, and that's what our intellect is meant for. So once you get used to these higher levels of happiness, do you think you will invest your energy at the lower levels? It's a natural climb, and test this out in your own life and see. There's a level higher than this, deep intellectual activity. The fourth level is what is called the happiness born of service. When you contribute to another life, the smile you bring on other faces, that will flood your life with joy. And it's a kind of ethereal joy, but it is palpable, it's tangible. It will change your very mind, bringing happiness, sattvic joy into other lives, will give you a taste of this higher levels of joy which you are capable of. So this is the next level, the level of seva, the level of selfless service. But beyond all of these is the level of meditation. If you have tasted meditation, you will understand what happiness means. You enter the realm of Ananda now. Mental joys can be classified under Sukham. Sukha they give you, certain level of inner balance and joy, but Ananda is something very, very deep, very transforming, very fulfilling. So the meditative life is like that. Try it out and see. One bout of real meditation refreshes your entire system. In fact, even the starting points of meditation, if you just regulate your vital energy within you, regulate the Ida and Pingala, you will taste higher levels of Sukham. You will enter into the realm of Anand. And if real meditation is got, you actually become blissful by nature. No sorrow can touch you. Even anything you pass through in life will keep you very balanced. So this is a perfect possibility with the meditative life. So this is the higher level of happiness which we are capable of. Of course, after this is the transcendental level of joy beyond meditation. So this level of happiness, which is beyond meditation, comes with the fulfillment of the meditative process. It is what is called samadhi. These are the highest levels of blissfulness you are capable of. But let's not go now straight into samadhi. You can understand it only through the meditative process. So look at this ladder of happiness. This is what I'm trying to show you. You are capable of higher and higher happiness, and at every level of this ladder, there are different degrees of happiness. You make a mistake in life when you try to optimize happiness only at the first rung of the ladder, only by collecting more and more objects around you. If you are really wise, and now you are attending the Sunday classes, so you must get wiser every Sunday, you will try to climb this ladder. Enter higher and higher realms of happiness. You are perfectly capable of it. Once you get used to it, the lower levels naturally fall away. See, this is what the world calls renunciation. From the standpoint of the renunciant, it's a natural process. You will naturally invest only in that which gives you more fulfillment, isn't it? So this is the capacity of the human mind to scale this ladder and move upward. Now, spiritual practice is meant for this, to help you enrich your human experience, help you discover the higher levels of happiness naturally. This is the purpose of spiritual practice, sadhana. So the basics of sadhana begin when you have this vivek, this understanding, this discrimination between what gives me greater fulfillment and what is actually not fulfilling but maybe very enthralling to the senses, very attractive to the senses. So this is called vivek, discrimination between the real and the unreal, between the less and the more, between what is addictive by nature and what is liberating by nature, what is fulfilling, what is not fulfilling, an acute discrimination between these. This is the starting point of sadhana. With vivek, everything begins. It is the causal factor. If you have vivek, you will naturally have vairagya. I told you, it appears like vairagya from the outside. From the renunciant standpoint, it's a natural transformation of his life and consciousness. Because you have vivek, you have understood the relative importance of things. So vairagya actually means detachment from the lower, from the mere sense-bound life to higher and higher levels of happiness. This is vairagya. Don't think it is about donning a particular cloth and going away somewhere. Don't think vairagya means that. Vairagya is a state of mind. It can be generated anywhere. And where you are, please remain there and culture your mind, culture your different faculties, scale this ladder of happiness, and you will be a vairagi naturally, wherever you are. You will be a real rishi, a person who is committed to higher growth, higher experiences in life.